Students, so in this class we discuss about the density of the unit cell. Okay students, in previous classes we derived the packing efficiency of the simple or primitive unit cells and face centered unit cell and body centered unit cell. Now here we can find out the density of the unit cell. How we can find out the density of the unit cell? The simple formula will be present to calculate the density of the any unit cell. So that can be calculated by using, so for example consider small a unit cell edge length. Okay students, consider a unit cell edge length is small a picometers. So already we have to know unit cell, how it can be appearing. So the unit cell is appearing as a simple cube. So this is the simple representation of the unit cell. So the edge length of a unit cell is small a picometers. Okay, so already we have to know 1 picometer is equals to 10 power minus 10 centimeter units. Then volume of the unit cell, already we have to know that is the A cube. Why? Because unit cell is appearing as a cube. So simple cube volume is the A cube. So consider a unit cell edge length is the small a picometers. Then the volume of the unit cell is the A cube. Then the number of atoms, already we have to know the formula, that is the number of atoms is equals to weight by molecular weight is multiplied with Avogadro number n naught. Okay student, number of atoms is equals to weight means nothing but in chemistry point of view it is treated as a mass also. So weight by molecular weight into n naught. So that is the number of atom will be indicated with the capital Z. So from this relation, the weight mass is equals to number of atoms Z into molecular weight divided by Avogadro number n naught. It can be obtained from this relation. What is that? Weight mass is equals to number of atoms Z into molecular weight divided by Avogadro number n naught. So already we have to know the formula of the density. So the density is small d is equals to mass by volume. Density is equals to mass by volume. So in this density, the mass, here the mass value will be present, that is the Z into molecular weight by n naught. This can be substituted in this relation. Finally we get the density of the unit cell is equals to Z into molecular weight divided by n naught into volume of the unit cell. So volume of the unit cell, how much? It will be equals to the A cube. So in place of the volume we should substitute the A cube. So this is the formula is used to calculate the density of the unit cell. So density of unit cell, small d is equals to number of atoms Z, molecular weight of material divided by Avogadro number n naught into A cube. So here this A cube is must used in the picometers. N naught means that is the Avogadro number. Already we have to know Avogadro number 6.023 into 10 power 23. Z is the number of atoms. So in previously we should find out simple or primitive unit cell, how many contribution of number of atoms? 1. Similarly body centered cubic unit cell 2. Face centered cubic unit cell number of atoms, that is 4. So for example in given problem, if the face centered cubic unit cell will be given, what is that? Number of atoms is the 4. Then molecular weight, then Avogadro number, then edge length in picometers. By using that formula we should find out the density of the unit cell. So next we discuss the Bragg's equation for the solid substances, it is the crystal solids. So for example, here we are considered the crystal. So that crystal can be divided into the different layers. So the beam of light is passing on the crystal surface. On that X-rays, the X-rays is fall on the crystal surface. On that, one X-ray is deflected, diffraction from the crystal surface, and when we passing the another X-ray on that crystal surface, so that X-ray is passing extra distance, that means it can be touches to the second layer in the crystal, then again it can be diffracted. So this is the phenomena is used in the X-rays is falling on the crystal surfaces. So for example, when we compare the first X-ray and second X-ray, the second X-ray can be passing the some extra distance compared with the first X-ray. For example, from the figure diagram, it is clear that two waves, nothing but beam 1, beam 2. Okay students, two waves beam 1, 2 in phase are approaching the crystal, and after reflection, the beam 1 from upper plane, this one, the beam 1 from upper plane is ahead of the beam 2 from the lower plane. So beam 1 is upper plane head of the beam 2 which is appearing in the lower plane. If the wave are in phase, the two waves are in phase, after reflection, the difference travelled by the beam must be integral multiple of wavelength for constructive interference. Okay student, this is the concept. What is that? If the waves are in phase, waves are present in phase, after reflection also, the difference travelled by the beam, the difference travelled by the beam, nothing but the path difference must be integral multiple of wavelength for constructive interference. That two waves are involved in the constructive interference after reflection. The path difference of the two waves, path difference of that two waves must be integral multiple of that beam wavelength, integral multiple of that beam wavelength. That means path difference is equals to integral multiple of wavelength. Here the integral will be used as a small n. So this is the concept can be obtained from that diagram. Student, what is that? From the diagram, the path difference will be equals to the n lambda. What is the path difference from the diagram? AC plus CD. AC plus CD is equals to n lambda. So this is the path difference from first beam and second beam. What is that? This is the path difference. Here that path difference can be calculated as AC and CD. So AC plus CD is equals to n lambda. So for example, from the diagram, the triangle ABC, this is the triangle ABC. Here this is the angle theta. So from the triangle sin theta is equals to AC by BC. So AC is equals to BC sin theta. BC means this length. Here this length will be, these two layers distance will be indicated with a small d. That means BC is equals to small d. So final equation is the AC is equals to D sine theta. Let this is the equation 1. AC is equals to D sine theta. Similarly from triangle BCD, this is the triangle BCD. So this is the triangle BCD. So from the triangle also sine theta is equals to CD by, what is that? CD by BC. CD by BC. From that CD is equals to BC sine theta. CD is equals to BC sine theta. Here also BC, the length is the D. So CD is equals to D sine theta. Let this is the equation 2. So from equation 1 we get the AC value, that is the D sine theta. In the equation 2 we get the CD value, that is the D sine theta. Here in this equation AC plus CD is equals to n lambda. On that equation AC value is present, CD value is also present. That means equation 1, 2 is substituted in this equation. Finally that equation is converted as D sine theta plus CD means D sine theta is equals to n lambda. D sine theta, that is the 2D sine theta is equals to n lambda. So this is called as a Bragg's equation. What is that? N lambda is equals to 2D sine theta, where the lambda is the wavelength, D is the distance between the two layers in a crystal, and n is the integers, it is taken as a 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the Bragg's equation can be derived as n lambda is equals to 2D sine theta.